I'm back early. Hello. All is good. I rushed that. We can get back now to making Bjorn look beautiful. Time for the prettying, indeed. So I'm gonna need to drag in his reference sheet again because that has all of his colours on them. There we go. I just need to remember to delete it for when we go back into Character Animator. Okay. So I'm gonna just quickly save a lot of these colours out so they're in my swatches. Let me come in so I can actually select them a bit better. It's quite a desaturated one, this outfit, but that's okay. I think it works. And then I need his skin tone. And his tattoos. And I think I am gonna just take that dark blue for the line colour, because I think it looks nice when the lines aren't black. So the first thing I can do is select him and make all my lines blue. There we go, and then take the lines off of the layers that shouldn't have them, like his fringe. And his eyes, his pupils. And if I name the pupils, they should actually move next time I load him. Okay, so one thing I realized is that the face needs to include the tattoos and the ear if I'm going to be able to change the movement. Let's take that little colour out of the nose there. And he does have white hair, so the rest of that looks good to me. So I'm gonna come into the body and I'm gonna add a collar, because he has a high collar that I didn't include to help protect his neck. And then I'm gonna think about how that looks in relation to his face. So let's grab these points. I think maybe just a little lower. And then we'll bring that up to the front, and everything else here should be combinable. Because, well, maybe not the hips, now that I think about them. Because everything else will need to be the same colour. And then his hips, his legs, what colour are they? They're like that stone colour. I think I might have got the waist, and yeah, I've got the waist and his hips round the wrong way, so let me just fix that up. And then I think I'll be okay with the way that these lines are, because the cape at the front is going to be covering a lot of sins there. Let's go into the arm. And then make sure his fingers are coloured correctly. I think I'll take the line off of the hips there. And the boots are all dark as well, so... Okay, so we've got the base colours in. I think at this point I'm going to get rid of the reference there. Now I'm going to try and get some shade in, which is going to be interesting because obviously this is going to move, so we need to be careful with this. I think the first thing that will be easy is the neck, because... well, that can be a bit dark because there's a lot of things surrounding this. So I'm going to take my line colour and turn the opacity down to get my kind of shade colour that I want. And I think I want it a bit brighter than that. Maybe a little less than that. Let's just go to the midground. Let's give him some shade in his ear. And then what could be nice is just under the eyes. I always feel like that helps bring out the character's eyes. And then maybe a little bit of shade on the nose or beneath the nose. Okay. Maybe the fringe as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the color layer and I'm going to turn it blue and just drag it down a bit. And I think that will work. Just I can see there's a slight edge, so I'm gonna just bring it in on both sides to make sure that isn't visible. Excellent. So maybe a bit of shade on the arm to show that the elbow is facing out this way. Maybe a little bit of muscle definition. I don't think that's really looking like the elbow, so let me just try that again. I think that can be done better. I think it just needs to be thicker. Because on this side, we've got the inside of the arm. We've got the palm of the hand. On the body, it would be nice, I think, to have some shade in from the cape. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it into place. And then I'm gonna use the torso shape as a mask. So we've got a little bit of shade in there, and I think it should still be okay despite it not being on the arms. I'm just a bit apprehensive putting it on the arms with the way that they're going to rotate. And then I'm also going to just add in a little bit of shade around the neckline. And where the jacket would be done up. So okay, coming along. I think we're almost there with the prettifying, I think. I just need to sort out the legs. So I think what I'm gonna want to do is immediately, I think the hip should be shade. And I think I'm gonna just double it for the back leg. So it's gonna be pretty much blue, just so that there's some difference between the two legs. See, maybe a bit less. Yeah, 60 I think works. Then I just need to fix it on the body again so it matches. Nice. Yeah, I'm more confident about putting shade on the leg than the arms because it's not going to have as crazy of a rotation. Now that I look at it, I don't really like the shadow on that bat leg. Let's just change it. Let's change it to something we like a bit better. There we go. I think I prefer that, even if it would blend in a bit more. Nice, I think the prettification may be complete. What do you think, Penguin Queen? Anyone else in chat? Is there anything I'm missing detail-wise? Any other shade, perhaps? I think he's looking great. I'm quite happy. He's very stoic as per the usual. Looks really good. Thank you, Penguin Queen. So I think I'm going to come back over then into Character Animator. This is a very weird stream that we won't be doing a huge amount of looking in, just because I have to turn Dungeon off. But never mind. Dungeon has to go back into the abyss. But, so first of all, I'm going to quickly just turn the layer off. Bye! There we go. And we're going to reopen Skinner. And it's going to take a second. There we go. Oh, okay, we've had some funny things happen. It looks like his face and his hair have moved a little bit in transit, but that's okay, we can fix him up. Poor Dungeon. Dungeon didn't have to see all this weird stuff happen to Bjorn's head, so let's see. I think it's because I grouped the head. So we can just take this and shove it back into where it belongs, I think. Face. Let's move it over. There we go. It was somewhere around here. Yeah, occasionally layers will have a bit of a jump around, But now you can see, it's a little bit wonky, but the eyes are stretching to go with my blinks, and the pupils are moving now. Bjorn looks like he's very suspicious of something. I typically don't have the pupil movement on. It comes on by default, but I typically don't like it on because I wear glasses. And while it is registering it, it sometimes isn't like the best at registering it when you've got glasses on, which is fair. It's asking a lot to see through the frames when I've got thick frames. Cool. So sometimes, obviously, when you bend, the layers get a bit in on themselves. It's just trying to find the best way to bend the arm without that happening. But I think it's not too bad. And I can't stop myself from shaking my head around. I'm gonna see if adding the draggable effect on the foot is possible with it being stapled to the floor. I know there's a way of doing it, but I might have to look into it off stream. If I add a draggable to the feet as well, is that gonna do some weird things? It might. I imagine it will, but let me just see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to figure that one out myself, because that is not what I want. There'll be a different way of setting the foot up, which I can definitely report back on when I watch more how-to videos. This is the first time I've done a proper puppet with legs, so I've not really looked into the feet a lot. So I'm quite happy with how it's come out for the first time, and I'll definitely look into ways of getting the feet to just realise there's a flaw here, and maybe it'll be less of a thing with the shaking and stuff. I'm gonna just quickly make sure his arm doesn't just keeps in. If I go to the limb IK on the side, I can probably tell it to not bend in different directions. Oh, not both of them. Ah, it's greyed out. Well, I'll have to look up why that's greyed out as well. Never mind. Let's put your arm up here so you look a little bit better. Yeah, but that's the basics of the puppet, and then you would go in and add some commands so that you don't have to necessarily act the entire time. I'm going to recalibrate my face so that he's not always looking up. There we go. That looks a bit better. So you can wave and pretty much just control the puppet as you program him to. And there's a lot of different ways of getting him to do different things. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. I'm going to go back to Dungeon now. Let's get Dungeon back out of... Where did I say she was? The Shadow Realm? There we go. We're back. We're free. No more Shadow Realm. Only light now. Okay, and we're back on. And then I think we'll come over to here and have a bit of a wrap up, I think.